Alright, fellow Kaijudo duelists, this is Chris here from Team Squeaky, now here at Kaijudo Central. This video is going to be a deck tech on a deck I've created called Decree. It is the evolved form of Dragons Say Roar. Now, mind you, it doesn't have some of the stuff from 6DSI or Dragon Strike Infernus that I'm playing in it currently testing, but it'll kind of give you the idea of where everything's going. It is very much a playable deck, and once you get the stuff from 6DSI, you'll see why I call it Decree. Alright, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, why did you show Dragon Says Roar if this is the evolved version of that? Well, they're two different decks. Okay, you've got a very much from Dragon Says Roar, a ramp deck, being into the big stuff and then working that way, kind of like I said, using the old way of how Magic the Gathering ramp decks work. And now I've got this version here, which tends to fall more in the lines of how Duel Masters ramp decks work in that. So kind of two different versions, right? But yeah, this is Decree, and let me go ahead and break it out for you. Alright, everybody. So Decree is a Darkness, Fire, Nature, Dragon build. So we're going to start off with the Darkness cards, right? So we start off, it's a 44 card deck. You have 3 Bone Blades. Shouldn't have to really talk too much about that in a deck. You do run 2 Black Feather of Shadow Abyss. Now, this is your draw engine to the card as well as Hammer Dragon inside the deck. While this puts cards in your hand, Hammer Dragon's going to flip the card, hopefully show a dragon, and that's going to bring it into the field. So these are the 2 cards that are going to help getting stuff into your hand and getting stuff faster out onto the field. Alright, you run 3 Terror Pits, self-explanatory, right? You also run 2 Skull Shatters. I'm still not joking about how Skull Shatter works in these decks. It's brutal, considering how fast you can get to it and get it out, hopefully. This followed up, I'm telling you straight up, with an Infernus. It will pretty much own you the rest of the game, quite honestly. Alright? Last but not least for Darkness, I do run a 1 of Necro Dragon of Vile Ichor. This guy's the new guy out of the Dragon Masters collection. I like him for 1 of. I just did it earlier today where I had 3 dragons out on the field. I swung with Hammer Dragon and flipped this guy up. Mind you, it's random, right? But it still happened. Boom, he hits the field. I popped 4 shields just off of that. So, pretty solid there off of that combo piece. Alright, on to Fire. Okay? With Fire, this deck runs 2 Heat Seekers. This is a help with the early games. This is part of the removal piece, feeding Black Feather, Shadow Abyss. Alright, going into Dragons. You run 3 Hyperspeed Dragons. This guy accelerates your Armored Dragons and feeds the Necro Dragon of Vile Ichor. Alright, I do run a 1 of Twin Cannon Maelstrom. I know people are going to be like, why that card? Well, he pumps up my other creatures, right? When they go into the attack, they get powerful attack plus 2,000. It's not like the Kanina coming in 6DSI where it's only giving it to my dragons. This guy's giving it to all my creatures, okay? Except for himself. I run 2 Tatsurians. This is to play, it's the anti-Hydroneuron, Emperor Neuron, my bad, and the anti-Hydra Medusa, right? They swing with it, make that mistake, cool. Have enough mana, pop down Tatsurian, swing right into it. Now I've kind of reset the field, right? Once again, also feeding Black Feather. I run 2 Barrage in this deck. This is to help with the early game, the anti-rush piece. While I do have more early game with this and my nature piece, I still want this there to help me against that until I can get to my mid game or my late game. Alright. I run 2 Hammer Dragon Foulburn. Right? This guy's from the Dragon Masters collection. I like him. Once again, when I was talking earlier about Black Feather Shadow Abyss, this guy likes to get stuff out onto the field. Swing with it. Cool, reveal dragon, comes out onto the field, come into play, effect happens, right? Like I was talking earlier about the Necro Dragon, Val Icor, now imagine getting another Hyperspeed, a Tatsurian, really anything that, Voltail even, right? And the deck does run a Terra Dragon. So, really good stuff with that card. And it combos out really nicely. I do run in this deck 2 Tatsurian the Unchained. Feeding the Armored Dragon piece also comes into play, he's removal. And then when he swings, if they decide to block, well, I get to untap him and swing again. Or I can take out a creature that they have tapped and come right back and swing back into him. So, and then last but not least, I do run a 1-of Voltail Dragon. Those are my fire cards. Okay. So here starts my nature piece, right? Like we talked about, this deck actually does have early game. It runs 3 Pricklebacks. Pretty simple. For ramp as well, 3 Sprouts. I'm still trying to sit there and build up to get to my dragons faster. It runs 2 Razor Hides. This is the ramp piece as well. And Prickleback and Razor Hide are the bait for Sabretooth. Alright, this guy dies, he feeds my ramp piece. It is also very powerful, 7,000 power, with Double Breaker ability. For also ramp and draw, I run 3 Reaping Cell. Where in Dragon Says Roar, I run 2 of these. In this deck, I only run 1 Mana Storm. Still can be very vital ramp. So, for the anti-rush as well and the anti-early game, if for some reason I'm not hitting mine, 3 Tendril Grasp. These you need to watch out and be situational with them, know what you're playing against. They're great against rush decks, but something where you know that they can build up quick and get to something bigger, might not want to use them all the time, but they're there as needed. Last but not least, in the final card in the deck, 1-of Terra Dragon Regarian Doom. This guy right here, attack, flip him, cool, bring him in. What they thought they had a blocker or another creature or whatever, cool, I'm going to remove it off and let my Hammer Dragon swing through. Or whatever, right? So, this is Decree without obviously having the stuff from 6DSi. And so, yeah. Alright everybody, so that's pretty much the layout to Decree. Obviously, like I said, it's missing stuff from 6DSi that I've been playing with, Dragon Strike Infernus. I'm pretty sure you guys, once you take a look at the deck listing in it, you can kind of see obviously where Infernus will take his place, and maybe you'll be able to take a look and sit there and see maybe how, or if I've used the Firebirds and how maybe I may use them in the deck in the future once we have them all and everything else like that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that look into it, and that's pretty much it. So that's the deck. It's called Decree. It is a Darkness Fire Nature Dragon deck. So, alright everybody. This is Chris, Team Squeaky here at Kaijudo Central. Later.